Brought to you by Gamezy. Win up to rupees 5 crores every day. Download the app now.
Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings in IPL 2022. This is going to be another table churner when it comes to the playoff race in this competition. Delhi Capitals are 5th, Punjab Kings are 7th, but both are tied on 12 points and the net run rate is also positive. So, a win in this contest will intensify the race for the top 4 even more. Not more the top 4, it will be number 3 and number 4 that will be at stake. Ahead of this crucial clash, I will be giving you some fantasy tips for the Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings game, and I will start off with the budget buys for this clash. Looking at the budget buys for both Delhi Capitals and Punjab Kings, folks, they have a plethora of budget buys if I have to look at it. Firstly, I will look at Chetan Sakaria, who's come into his own for Delhi Capitals in this tournament. But I have got massive options when it comes to the Punjab Kings. Arshdeep Singh, the Iceman, and brilliant in the death overs. He is my automatic budget buy if I have to look at it. Then if I have to look at the rest of the lineup in both Punjab Kings and Delhi Capitals, the rest are not that much of a budget buy for me. So if I have to start with the budget buys in my team, I would go with Chetan Sakaria as well as Arshdeep Singh. After the budget buys, I will now look at the overseas options for both Delhi Capitals and Punjab Kings. Looking at the overseas options, folks, Punjab Kings have a rather settled overseas lineup if I have to look at it. The likes of Johnny Bairstow, Liam Livingstone, Bhanuka Rajapaksa and Kagiso Rabada are an automatic pick for any of the sides. Livingstone came into his own as well as Johnny Bairstow in the game against Royal Challengers Bangalore, so they will be firm favourites to begin with. But do not discount Delhi Capitals, folks. David Warner is Mr. Consistent in IPL, so he will be one of the picks for me as well. But if I have to look at the rest of the Delhi Capitals lineup, I have a slight doubt about Rovman Powell. Okay, he's hit 1 or 2 good games. He's contributed well in that. But his consistency is one big problem for me. And there's too much chopping and changing when it comes to the overseas bowling lineup in the Delhi Capitals time. Andrich Noche has not regained peak form. Whereas if you have to look at it, Mustafizur Rahman has also been left out a lot more. But in the last couple of games, Mitchell Marsh has looked in great touch. So these are my overseas buys if I have to look at it for the Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings game. After the overseas options, I will look at the captaincy choices for the Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings match. Looking at the captaincy options, if I have to choose one from the Delhi Capitals team in my fantasy team, I would choose David Warner. Why? Because David Warner has a fantastic record against Punjab Kings and he will once again look to emulate his previous form. If I have to pick someone from the Punjab Kings lineup as my captain, well, I would look at picking probably Liam Livingstone, because Livingstone is a guy who can actually change the course of a match in a single blow. If not Livingstone, then I would pick Kagiso Rabada as my captain, because he's been consistent, he's taken wickets at regular intervals, and you would want a bowler to shine. After my captaincy choices for Delhi versus Punjab, I will now put out my fantasy 11 for Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings. My fantasy 11 is kind of complicated in a way, folks, because the overseas contingent for Punjab Kings and Delhi Capitals is so strong. So I will open with David Warner and also reunite him with his former SRH guys, if I would look at it, Shikhar Dhawan. So David Warner, Shikhar Dhawan. Then I will employ Johnny Bairstow and Liam Livingstone at 3 and 4. Probably get in Harshal Patel at number 5. Then Shardul Thakur at 6, Rishabh Pant will be at 6, he will be my de facto wicketkeeper if I have to look at it. And then Kuldeep Yadav at 7 and Kagiso Rabada at 8. And then I would put Chetan Sakaria at 9, Khalil Ahmed if he's fit at 10, if not Khalil Ahmed, then I will go for Arshdeep, folks. I mean, Arshdeep is a shoo-in for anything. And number 11 could possibly be Rahul Chahar. So those are my fantasy 11 picks for the Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings game, folks. It's a very, very important game, and who knows, one of the slots could be sealed in that game on Monday. Thank you so much for listening to this special fantasy, folks. Don't forget to download the Gamezy app. You stand to win rupees 5 crores every day. You can also make teams in the second innings. You can also make it in 5 over slots, folks. No other fantasy gives you that privilege. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news, analysis, and fantasy tips. Press the like, comment, and share button. Thank you.